One of the companies that is always safe to visit and we always enjoy visiting very, very, very much is Iello, a company that keeps surprising, keeps bringing out some very, very interesting and very good games. And this year is no different from any other year, not just for the quality of the games, but for the amount of the games as well. Welcome to the Iello special of the GMS magazine at Spiel 2014. You know, they say about safety in numbers. Well, Iello has actually taken that to heart because the number of games that they are releasing this year, the number of games on the shelves at this Spiel, Mathieu, is absolutely insane. You guys have gone mental last year in production. How many games have you got? King of New York, Zombie 15, Chronicles of the Guardians, Guardian Chronicles, sorry, the Night of the Grand Octopus, Eat Me If You Can, the Hare. Come on, you couldn't have released more games. This is amazing.
Yeah, thanks. To tell the truth, we're working with partners, smaller publishers that we help them publish the games in English, and that's why we have so many games. We are not making all those games by ourselves. We are working with our partners and that's how we can have so many games.
But still, to be able to make sure that they are producing the games, delivering them on time, giving them the whip to make sure that everything is done.
We're good. Yes, we're good. Yeah. Thanks.
Right, tell me about the releases that we have for this year, because again, there's an awful lot of them. So, King of New York.
Yeah, King of New York is our big release. Of course, it's been expected for quite some time now. It's a standalone game. It's the sequel of King of Tokyo. What Richard Garfield wanted to do here is take the core mechanism of King of Tokyo and build a game with a little more depth around this. So he kept the theme, of course, with still huge monsters that are trying to reign over a city and were fighting each other. He kept the dice. There's still 6 dice, and you have 3 rolls of them at your turn. He kept the victory conditions, so either be the last one standing or be the first to get to 20 points. But then he had a lot to this. So the game board, for example, is larger, and your monster is always somewhere in New York, unless you have been eliminated from the game. So you can, if you're not in Manhattan, Manhattan is the new Tokyo. But if you're not in Manhattan, you'll be in the Bronx or Staten Island or Brooklyn or the Queens. Okay. On the dice, he kept the heart, the claws, and the lightning bolts for the energy. You can still buy cards, the power cards. They are all different new power cards, but they still get purchased the same way. But then he added 3 new sides, 3 new symbols. 3 new symbols. Now you can destroy buildings, depending on what district you are. You can destroy high rises that give you victory points. You can destroy electric plants that gives you energy, or you can destroy hospitals that give you health. Okay, that's new ways to get rewards and new strategy to either heal yourself or get victory points or energy. But anytime you you destroy a building. Buildings are small tiles on the board. Anytime you destroy one, you flip it over, and a military unit appears. So the more you destroy, you rampage the city, the more the humans will defend themselves with military units. And the second new symbol on the dice is the ouch symbol. It's a little skull. When you roll one, all the military units in your district will attack you. When you roll two, they will attack you and any monster in the same district. And if you roll three, you will activate all the military units on the board. So you can actually hurt, deal damage to monsters on another district by activating the military. And when you roll three ouch symbols, you also get the help of the Statue of Liberty because you become the defender of New York. You help the military defend the city. And the Statue of Liberty is a new type of card. It's an objective card. And as long as you have it in front of you, you have 3 extra victory points until someone else rolled 3 ouches. And the second objective card is the Superstar card. The Superstar card you can get by rolling 3 stars, the fame symbol. And as long as you have the Superstar in front of you, you get 1 victory point per star you roll. Okay, so it's hard to get, but it's rewarding because you get a lot of victory points. And you don't want the same player to keep this card too long. So the core mechanism of King of Tokyo, the soul of King of Tokyo is still here, but there's a lot more going on the board.
So I was going to say, it really feels that this is not really milking the King of Tokyo game. This is really creating something very new from the same foundation, but adding a great deal more to the theme and expanding on the theme itself.
Yeah, the fact is, Iello was not the one asking for Richard Garfield to make a new game like King of Tokyo to make more money. Richard Garfield came back to us and said, I love this mechanism and I think I can make another game with the same core mechanism, but which would be really different from King of Tokyo. So we said, yeah, go Richard, go for it. And actually he really nailed it. It's really what it did. It's really easy to get into the game when you already played King of Tokyo because there's so many, the backbone is the same, but there's so many new things to do and new things that really add to the theme, like destroying buildings and having the military trying to attack you or seeking the spotlight with the fame symbols. So yes, it's and the reaction we got from the players here is all positive. I know I'm supposed to say that for all our games, but this is true. I mean, it's either I love Tokyo, King of Tokyo, but this one is even better and it will replace it, or it is I love King of Tokyo and I will still play it with my little brothers and my grandma, but this one I will play with my buddy, or it's even I don't really care for King of Tokyo, but I like this one because there's more to it than in King of Tokyo. So.
That is quite a compliment to have. That's brilliant. Right, the next one, Zombie 15, something that you told me about last year, and I was really looking forward to it. How has it come along?
Brilliantly. And I'm really happy we have it here because it's one of my favorite games from this year. It's not especially because I love to play it more than another game. I love to play it, but there's a lot of other games I love to play. But this one I especially love it because of the rules the designer managed to come up with. It's the game, so it's a zombie game. It lasts 15 minutes. There's a soundtrack that times the each game, and that adds tension to the game, and that lets you know when you should, when you have to add more zombies into the board onto the board game. So you have to speed things up because every minute there's new zombies coming at you. And so the two designers had to come up with rules that are simple enough to remember, because you don't have the time to browse the rules while you're playing. It's not a possibility. But also that are quick to handle while you're playing, because you don't have time to roll dice or to choose from your cards, from a hand of cards or things like this. And still, the rules they came up with are all great for the theme. You know, for example, we all know that when there's zombies around, you should not use firearms. It's loud and it draws them to you. So what they did is there's a box, a little horde box, and anytime you use a firearm, one of the zombies you remove from the board because you killed them goes into the horde box. It's really quick and easy to do. You just remove the board and one goes into the horde. So it's easy. But then when you hear a zombie growl in the soundtrack, you flip a card to know how many zombies are coming at you. It can be 1, 2, 3, or 4, or it can be a horde card that says that all the zombies that you put into the box come back onto the board. So it can be 15, 18, 20. If you use only loud firearms, well, they all come back for you because they are draws by the noise, you know. So it's a really easy rule to remember, easy to manipulate, but it really fits it's really what you expect from a zombie game.
A horde of zombies appearing from everywhere. Now, with a gameplay of about 15 minutes, how has the game managed to keep the replayability rather than some games that you play very quickly, you play 3 times and you're bored with it already? How does Zombie 15 manages that?
So the first element for replayability is that there are 15 scenarios in the game that tells a story. You know, it's a campaign. We already have 5 more, so scenarios 16 to 20 available as free download from the website, and that is the continuation, the sequel of the campaign. Okay, so the new scenario starts where the campaign ends. The second element is that usually, except for maybe the 3 or 4 first scenarios, you don't succeed the first time you play it. Okay. So you have to try again and try to be better, quicker, and to make better decisions to succeed the scenarios. And the more the campaign goes, the harder it is, of course. So the last thing for replayability is that on the soundtrack you have the normal soundtrack with zombie growls every 60 seconds, and then another one with zombie growls every 40 seconds. So if you really manage to succeed at all the scenarios and you think the game is a bit too easy, you can try with this soundtrack. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, that doesn't sound like something that can be done easily at all. However, it does sound like it is, although it's a very quick game, it sounds like it's a very serious, kind of intense experience.
Yes, the experience is intense and is most of the time you end the game and you're sweating and your heart is racing and you need a few minutes, you know, to calm down, because of the pressure, the time pressure, of course, the music too, that gets more intense as it goes, and so that's why it's a 15-minute game, but it's not a filler. It's not a game that you will, you know, play between 2 more longer games, because most of the time you want to play more than one scenario or one game. Just, you know, the first one is to warm up, So it's yeah, you shouldn't be let the time on the box deceive you. It's not like a filler or an easy 15 minutes game. It's 15 minutes because of the time pressure, because the time pressure was what the designers wanted in this game to fit the theme of the zombies apocalypse. But it's not a light game. The most of the decision you must make are hard to do because of the time pressure.
That sounds like a plan to me. Now, Guardians Chronicles, that is looking absolutely beautiful, I have to say. The cover is fantastic. Well, what can you tell me about that game?
So this is also a long-awaited game. We've been working with the Red Joker, which is a small French designer and publisher on this game for months now. And it's finally here. It's a game with superheroes. A player plays the bad guy, Dr. Skarov. Okay, and yeah, the game really plays with the cliches of the genre of the comics genre. You have the Liberty Patrol, which is the good guys. There's a Captain America-like leader. There's a hot girl that flies. There's a big guy with a lot of muscles and so on. So, but the theme is not that serious, you know. It's a light theme with superheroes, but the game itself is kind of heavy. It's a strategy game. There's different scenarios you can play, but basically the good guys must always enter the base, the villain's base, defeat its minions, avoid the traps, and manage to stop the villain to complete his evil schemes. But those can be like launching nuclear missiles on the city or turning the president's daughter into a mutant or things like that. It's different in each scenarios. And so there's a lot of really cool ideas in the game. Every hero has a different deck with different powers that fit its character, and you have to combine those powers with those of the other heroes to succeed and to progress in the game. Yeah, basically that's it.
Obviously, it's a bit too soon because the game has just released, but it sounds like the kind of games that you guys will be releasing new expansions, new adventures, because it sounds very expandable.
Yeah, the game was crowdfunded on Kickstarter. It's been a long and sometimes difficult campaign because the production of the game was not that easy, but we are now releasing the game, and there are 3 expansions that were crowdfunded with the game that will arrive hopefully by the end of the year. That's what we are aiming for, and if not in the next few months. And I know the designer has more ideas, so if the game is a success and if people like the game, there could be a season 2 and more.
That sounds really good. I mean, the fact that the game can be supported sounds fantastic. Let's jump on to the next one. The Night of the Grand Octopus. How amazing is that?
Yeah, I love the title. So in this game, you play cultists who are trying to awaken the Grand Octopus. You know, totally original. No inspiration here. It's a really light and fun bluffing game. Okay, the goal of the game is to gather 4 different ingredients out of the 6 available, and so the cultists that just broke into a university, and they're trying to collect these ingredients to be the one to awaken the Grand Octopus and to be its minion forever, for eternity. And so each turn you decide where you want to send your cultist on the board, and where you want to spawn your offspring, your monster. Then we all reveal simultaneously where we want to go. We move the pawns and we see what happens. If you're alone in a room, you get to take the ingredients. That's good for you. If you are in a room with one or more offspring, you are too terrified to take the ingredients, and you lose 1 sanity point. Okay, you have 5 sanity points at the beginning of the game. If you run out of sanity points, you're out of the game. It doesn't happen that often, but it's something you have to take into account. And if you are in a room with other cultists but no offspring, you get to negotiate. So it's either we agree that no one gets the ingredients, okay, it's better this way, or we agree that someone, me I guess, will take the ingredients, okay, or we don't agree and we all lose 1 sanity point. So if you are low on sanity points, I can try to intimidate you to have the ingredients for me, you know. There are a few more rules with an outside world where you can go and have a special effect, but basically that's it. That's really short. It's 15 or 20 minutes. It's really easy to learn. It's fun to play. There's a lot of interaction, and I know some people have been expecting more from the game because it's Tulu themed. Okay, yeah, I shouldn't be saying that because no one knew, but okay. But really, it's a fun game, and it's really easy to play. You can play with kids, or you can play it as a filler between longer games, and it's fun.
Now, last year, Baba Yaga was an absolute hit around my table to the point that I have not been able to get it away from my friends' children. They're absolutely loving it, and they're 3 little pigs. They're absolutely loving it. This year, same series, you have the Hare and the Tortoise. What does that game do differently from Baba Yaga on the 3 little pigs?
Well, as always in its series, it's a whole different game. It's my favorite so far in this series, but I feel a bit ashamed because I've been saying it's my favorite game for Zombie 15. No, it's my favorite game for this series, but it's true. I think we have a lot of awesome games this year. So the Hare and the Tortoise is a racing and betting game from Gary Kim, a Korean designer, and it's really, really clever. You can still play it with kids as a family game. There's still the tail inside the book-shaped box. So basically there are five animals competing: the hare, the tortoise, the fox, the wolf, and the lamb. They all have their own special rules to advance. They are all different rules to advance. But as you turn, you play cards of the same animal, 1 to 4 cards of the same animal. And the other players do so until either there are 4 cards of the same animal on the table, or there are 8 cards total played on the table. The animals don't move before this happens, but then the racing phase is triggered, and then you look at the cards played by all the players combined, and you move the animals with the special rules. For example, the hare is fast, so he always move 2 space if there's at least 1 card of the hare played, but is also overconfident. So if he's first and there's 4 cards of the hare played, he doesn't move. He just takes a nap because, you know, he's first. He's gonna win anyways. The tortoise is steady. She's slower but steadier, so she always moves 1 space, even if there's no tortoise card played, and she can even move 2 space if there's 4 of them played. And so, for example, the lamb is really fast because it's always afraid, but it has to stop to drink whenever it crosses a stream. You know, it just sees a stream. Oh, I have to drink. The fox goes as many squares as the number of cards of the fox played, so 1 to 4. And the wolf is a bit slower, but there's 3 wolf cards with a howling symbol, and when the wolf howls, all the other animals just freeze, and he's the only one to advance, to run. So what I love about the game is how balanced it is. So by all the rules are different for the animals, but they are not the same number of cards for each animals, and the combination of that makes it that any animal has a chance to win, and it's really what the players play that will determine the outcome of the race. And I also love the fact that it's not as straightforward that I play something and then we move because of what I've placed. We all play cards, and the combination of that will make the animal advance or not. So
Sounds like another hit to me.
we certainly hope so, and we're quite confident because it's already doing really well and it's really clever. I can let you know that we have a fourth game in the series coming, based on the tale of the ant and the grasshopper. Okay. It will be a game by Johan Levé, who is the designer of Mirmes. So the guy really liked ants, definitely. And it should come out the next quarter of 2015. Same book-shaped box, and I haven't played it yet, but I heard it's brilliant.
Oh, looking forward to that. Now, what have I missed? Any more games? Because now I don't trust I remember everything. What have I missed?
You missed out two really new releases, the games that we were not sure to even have on the fair because they're really fresh out of the manufacturers. It's two small minimalist Japanese games. The first is Eat Me If You Can. It's a bluffing game where one player plays the wolf and the other one are playing the three little pigs or the seven kids or the little red hood. And they decide if they want to take a good night of rest and maybe earn points, or if they want to stay up all night and set a trap to the wolf in case it comes to them. Then the wolf decides who he wants to eat. And if this guy was sleeping, the wolf get points based on the character. All the characters are not worth the same number of points. And the eaten character lose points. But if he set a trap, it's the other way around.
Okay.
Meanwhile, all the other characters get points only if they slept. So if they took the risk to sleep and maybe lose points if the wolf came at them, they get points. But if they were too frightened and they set traps, they don't get anything. Yeah. So it's really easy. It's 10 minutes. You can play with kids. The components are brilliant. There's those little stand-up houses with a little arrow behind where you can set a trap or sleep, and a little wolf figures that you can move around, and you can sniff at the houses to determine who is gonna eat tonight. So it's a small fun game that's brand new, and as we almost sold out of the French versions, and the English version I think is doing pretty well here too. And the last game is another Japanese game called Kobayakawa. Some people call that the Japanese poker. There's no theme in this one. It's more for adults, I think. And basically what you want to do in the game is you get one card face down. There are 15 cards in the game, numbered 1 to 15. You get one card. There's one card flipped face up in the center of the table, which is the Kobayakawa. And then every player get one action. So either draw a card and decide to keep it or to discard it, or to keep or discard the one it was dealt with at the beginning of the game. And the other one you discard face up, so it gives information to the other players. Or you can try to flip the first card of the draw pile to replace the Kobayakawa. When everyone did that, you take another turn to decide who's going to participate or not. So if you want to participate, you bet one of your coins. If you don't want, you bet nothing. Then when everyone bets or not, you reveal the cards, and the one with the highest card wins the game. But the one with the lowest card can add the value of the Kobayakawa to its card. So if you have a high card, you must try to guess if the lowest card plus the Kobayakawa will be higher or lower than your card. And if you have a low card, you must try to figure out if you will be the lowest card in play, and if with the Kobayakawa you can beat the highest card in play. So it's really, there's definitely something similar with the poker, where you have to try to guess what the other player have in hand, and if you and how good you will do.
That sounds very clever indeed.
This is, and it's a small game. It's not expensive. You can bring it, carry it around in travel. It's really clever and fun.
Mathieu, to finish, last year also Titanium Wars was a massive hit around our table. We really liked it because it was a very surprising game in the way that it plays, in the way that it looks, and it really surprised us. Of course, it's still on sale here. Are there any expansions going to be released? Because it felt like it was ripe for that.
Yeah, the expansion already came out in French, and it's on the boat or even in warehouse in UK and US as we speak. It was too close to have it here, but this expansion is called Confrontation, and it, amongst other things, it allows games with 2 players or 2 teams of players. You can play as teams. So and it's been eagerly expected, because I have a lot of player here who asked me for it, and who tell me I want the expansion. I had to disappoint them and tell them it's not available yet here, but it will be in the coming weeks.
Well, there you go. That's another one for Christmas.
I hope so.
But yeah, thank you so much. It's always an absolute pleasure seeing you guys around, and that wonderful array of games that you're releasing. You seems to be going from strength to strength, and it's fantastic to see how incredibly busy you guys are. So many congratulations, and thank you very much indeed.
Merci beaucoup.